Okay, go.
Go, Paula. Call the meeting to order and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You want to do the roll call, please?
Anthony Silva.
Here.
Cindy Smith is here. Cindy Apsey.
Here.
Tom Tice.
Here.
Haley Rondo. Here. Everyone's here.
Well, does anybody have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? And I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as it was.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Public comment. We're good? Our county commissioner called me. He had to go to a funeral downstate, so he couldn't make it, but he said there was nothing serious and immediate that he had for us. Hey. I'd like to slip in a couple thank yous. Nick Myers and Tom Epsey worked on the actual hills at the sledding hill. They did some reshaping. Nick made a bowl at the bottom of the little kids' hill so that when they go down, they're not going out in that center part where all the big kids are. They kind of got their own little area now. I think it's going to be much safer and much better. Nick also took and put boulders across the top so people can't drive down in the sledding hills anymore. I'd also like to thank Doug Olson, who's been plowing the sledding hill without telling anybody. He hasn't charged anything for it. When I figured out it was him, he said he was only doing it because he wanted to make sure that kids could get in enough to go sledding. Yes, it is very nice of him. I think that's all I've got. Olson. That's right across the road. Owen. Yes, Owen. Owen. Has everybody reviewed the minutes that the clerk sent out for the September regular meeting? Anybody have any corrections or concerns? I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented by the clerk.
I will make a motion to have the minutes from the September meeting approved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Cindy, did you have any correspondence?
No, not this month.
Election updates.
So we had our election meeting prior to this meeting, so we have all of our workers. We have our date that we will be doing our 9 days of early voting in Harrisville, which is October 27th. So they'll be working that. I have approximately 270 absentee voter, their ballots out with a 15% return rate currently. Yeah, they're just picking up. I'm getting about 10 a day now. So it's in full swing.
Haley, do you have anything you want to add besides your treasurer's report?
I do.
Anthony?
The planning commission met this past Monday. We discussed like 2 changes in new zoning. One was in solar, and one was in definitions as far as foundations go. And we talked a little bit about the upcoming Tri-Township Planning Commission meeting, which is October 17th. We did set a hearing for the new zoning ordinance will be October 24th at 7 p.m. As long as everybody gets in the paper.
Okay. I told Dan I'm gonna hand deliver it this time.
And that's pretty much it.
What was the other change in? One was solar, one was,
In definitions, in
Thank you.
regards to foundations.
thank you guys for all your hard work on that. It's been a long time coming.
But it's great that you pay attention to detail and work through it piece by piece. Well, Jim, I know, you're just drooling to get over there to that podium, aren't you?
Just because it's a Thursday. Yeah, I know someone was gonna rent our kitchen out, so I would let Dan know.
I know.
You will? Okay.
The 24th.
24th at 7.
Okay. Well, not much happened on October the 9th. It's actually worth mentioning, other than maybe October the 9th, 1864, the Battle of Tom's Brook during the Civil War. But I refuse to talk about George Custer, so let's get into that subject. Flag holders. We've all seen them, those military flag holders at the cemetery. But exactly why are they there? In most cases, the veterans become eligible for federal benefits, including military flag holders, by having served in the military during a specified time period, not necessarily in a war zone itself, and having received a discharge of anything other than dishonorable. Rules for military flag holders are mandated by state law rather than federal law, as one might assume. Each state differs in its regulations. Some states require them, other states do not. Michigan does, under Act 63 of 1915, Public Law 35.831. And there are severe penalties for not complying with the state laws or the mandates on these flag holders. And there are fines up to $500 for various instances for non-compliance. Now, Pleasant View Cemetery. In the last month, I witnessed at least 5 ORVs driving into that cemetery, driving around. And I believe this is contrary to our cemetery guidelines. I cautioned one lady about it last week. She was completely unaware that they weren't allowed in there. I didn't say anything other than they weren't allowed in the cemetery. And she apologized, but anyway, you may consider putting some no RV signs at the driveways. Now, the grave site of George F. Bolter, he's a non-veteran, and his wife Margaret. They're lot 71, the first edition. This lot appears to be abandoned, completely overgrown with dead bushes, a box elder tree, tall weeds, and down inside and tucked in out beneath all that stuff is their grave marker. Since our last township meeting on September the 11th, I've elevated, leveled, realigned, and cleaned 44 veteran grave markers and headstones. So as of September the 30th, all, underline all, of the veteran grave markers and headstones in the first edition are all done. Every one. And the 2 new ones in the original section. Veteran Robert W. Miller, Lot 89, first edition. His flat bronze military plaque has fallen off his headstone, and it was laying on the ground. That needs to be reattached. So someone needs to call, I believe, Pro Memorial. They're the ones that usually put them plaques on the back of headstones. That needs to be corrected. Okay, Veterans Donald L. Williams, Lot 72, first edition. And Oscar Joseph Glenn's, Lot 110, first edition. Both of these respective flat bronze military grave markers were set and placed without a cement base. That's a no-no. I don't know who set them out there, but that's a no-no. They always attach to a cement base. They're just laying on top of the grass. So I called Gilly's Funeral Home, and Aaron is scheduled to do a cement pour, and they're going to make me 2 cement bases for those bronze plaques. Yes, boss.
The bill will come to the township.
We didn't get no snacks tonight. Now moving right along. Excuse me. In the last month, I've added 4 more veterans to my
What does
list.
that make it for a total?
Pardon?
What's the total now?
207.
It's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yeah. I've added 4 more veterans to my list of veterans interred in Pleasant View Cemetery. They are Dixon Dick Baird Bowley, 3rd Class Petty Officer, United States Navy. Lot 91, died in 2011. William Landry Grant, United States Navy and United States Air Force. Lot 137, these are all in the first edition. Died in 2003. Next is Lee Van Irwin, Private First Class, United States Army, World War II and Korea. He's in the original section. He died in 1970. I did find a photo. There is a website out there called Find a Grave. I did find a photo dated 2014, and in that photo, Lee Van Irwin had a flag holder. So sometime between 2014, when that photo was taken, and last week, somebody's taken it. So he slipped through the cracks. So I went out there and I cleaned and re-elevated his marker, and he now has a flag holder and a flag. The last one is quite interesting. Eli Knudsen, born in Norway in 1861, died in Traverse City in 1943. He was a surfman. Not the typical surfing you think of. He was a surfman at the Thunder Bay Island United States Life-Saving Station in Alpena. And from what I've been able to find so far, he served from at least 1895 to 1901. So I called Tony Atkinson, our veteran director for Alcona County, and asked him if Elias Knudsen qualified for a flag holder and a flag. He said, well, if he had a DD Form 214, which is your certificate of release or discharge from active duty. And I said, well, I don't think so. I said, they didn't come out till 1950. So he didn't know. He said, well, if you find out anything, for me to let him know. So I called Congressman Jack Bergman's office. Based on the facts that the United States Coast Guard wasn't even created until 1915, and with the merger of the United States Revenue Cutter Service and the United States Life Saving Service, that these two U.S. government entities were the precursor to the United States Coast Guard. And in their opinion, their response, yes, absolutely yes. These surfmen have gone unrecognized for their service to people out on the Great Lakes. And based on what's currently going on in Florida, we can certainly appreciate their service to the people that require them. So I went out there and I put a generic flag holder and a flag at his headstone, and it was a great big bush there, so I took my chainsaw and I cut it down, and I cleaned his headstone. And I wasn't satisfied with that. So I was able to find another website that is specific to the United States Life Saving Service and the United States Lighthouse Service. And I ordered and received a specific U.S. Life Saving Service bronze flag holder from the United States Life Saving Heritage Association. And this is what this lollipop looks like. I was going to put it out after I showed the board. This is specific to the lighthouse or the life saving service.
Jim, is he the only one in our cemetery in that branch of service?
I think so.
That is beautiful, isn't that beautiful? Jim, do you have a receipt for that?
There's $100.
I see it in your report.
Okay, we just didn't
Do
get
you have a
anything.
receipt so I can reimburse you?
We didn't get any snacks.
If you bring double next month, can we get a bill?
Snacks tonight.
Yeah, that is really neat.
So I'll put that out tomorrow.
It's heavy.
Just don't drive on the new
Yeah.
driveways.
I'm going to assume that Pleasant View Cemetery is probably the only cemetery, at least in Alcona County, with a veteran recognized surfman. I know there's a couple of other surfmen that we had in this area. They were the couple of the Corneliuses, but they went on and actually enlisted into the Coast Guard when it became available. So probably the only cemetery around that's going to have one of those specific life-saving station flag holders, and again a recognized surfman. So I guess since he died in 1943, so after 81 years, Mr. Elias Knudsen is finally recognized for his service. I don't even know why I even looked this guy up. I think it was after I was working on Mr. Irwin's that as I'm waiting for this biological solution to work cleaning these headstones, I walk around with my tablet and I start writing names down. And I go home and check them out. Bingo, this guy came up. And I didn't know really what to do with him. Like I said, I called Tony and Berkman's office. But anyway, before I go to my last item, I just have to publicly say how thankful I am for Tom Apsey and his hard work. I mean, hard work. He put in a lot of hard work and hours at that Veterans Memorial. The hard work at the sledding hill, which I didn't participate, and more hard work going on township property. As of today, I seen, and Tom does a lot of work for this township. I just want to publicly say thank you. Now my last item. United States flags decorating or otherwise being placed on non-veteran grave sites. I have an opinion on it, but we all know what those are like. Caledonia Township, I think, should have some guidelines on this issue. Maybe you might have to speak to your township attorney on it. People do have First Amendment rights, but we also have the United States Flag Code. There's 4 or 5 grave sites out there right now. Some have 4 flags, some have 2. They're of the same size or larger than our veterans. We put those flags out on those veteran grave sites for a reason. They earned those. The flag code says these flags aren't to be used for decoration. But I see them out on non-veteran grave sites, and there's nothing wrong with being patriotic. There's a lot of things out there in the marketplace to purchase for patriotic reasons, but I guess how are we honoring our veterans that have taken up residency in Pleasant View Cemetery when we allow non-veteran grave sites to be adorned or decorated with the same size or larger U.S. flag? So that's something the township board should put on the agenda sometime and talk about it, because I did speak with an individual that was where he had put 4 of them out, and he said, I'll pull them, I don't want to upset anybody. And I said, no, leave them in place. I said, there's nothing that says you can't, but I said, if the dowel sticks break, I said, I'll pull them, and then I'll burn them. But because they're not using flag holders, obviously, they just poke them in the ground. But when you see all the flags flying from them flag holders, and over here there's 4 of them stuck in the ground, then you look over, there's another 4 flags on another non-veteran grave. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with being patriotic, but I don't think they should be adorned with the same symbolism as our veterans. That's just my opinion. They could go to a smaller flag, like a 4x6, or figure some way to, they shouldn't even be poking them in the ground. That flag isn't supposed to touch anything below it. Grass, weeds, anything. So,
Jim, would you be willing to meet with me sometime after elections and go over the guidelines and put some of your thoughts, like maybe regarding the flags and some other things in there?
yeah, I can help with that. Yes, it should be something in our guidelines, but, you know, do you make it retroactive from the date that you change it, or somebody's going to say, well, I've been putting it out for years.
We can talk about it.
Like I say, you may have to speak to your attorney and find out how this is the First
I mean, I hear what
Amendment.
you're saying, we don't want to, I mean, patriotic's good, but don't want to take away from what's earned either, so.
Right. I see red, white, and blue flowers. I see other little streamers and things out there that's red, white, and blue. So they're using the same flag as our veterans have. Just my opinion.
Jim?
Didn't get any snacks tonight.
Jim,
Yes?
you have been working exceptionally hard in the cemetery. You have made paths with your wheelbarrow.
I made a lot of passes with that wheelbarrow.
You made a nice brush pile too.
I see Tom clean that mess up
Yes,
I
you
made.
did.
I
You
think
made
I
a heck
had,
of a mess, yes you
I
did.
think I had like
That's why he's
5
so
yards of
hardworking. He's
sod.
built behind Jim.
So, thank you. You're going way and above and beyond, and we appreciate it.
It is. Thank you, Jim.
Are you ready? Okay. The driveway and parking lot projects. We've had these projects in the works, on our list for well over a year. The ARPA funds have got to be spent by the end of the year. That's what these projects were set up for, to be paid for. One interesting thing that I was thinking when I was looking at the sledding hill, the only tax dollars, the only Caledonia tax dollars that this board has spent on that sledding hill was a sign. Everything else has been done by volunteers and donations, and now the parking lot driveway with our funds. I don't think any of us, when we did it, realized how many people were going to use that sledding hill. But it is a wonderful outdoor adventure for a lot of families, and I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of this board for having the foresight to do it. And everybody, I encourage you to go up and look at it. There was a gentleman that stopped by, I was there at night, and he was kind of grumping. And I said, well, you know, we could not put a parking lot in, and we could let the people keep parking on the road. And then one day a little kid runs out between two cars. I said, I don't think the risk is worth losing a child, an adult, or anybody. Then he kind of changed his mind and he became a nice person. Tolson Park, I think looks fantastic. We filled in, so it's not like this, it's a gradual slope. We did get a permit from the road commission. We did discuss it with the road commission way before we decided what to do. And we did get a soil erosion permit for that. We had to put up silt fencing for a day or two. But I think it looks great. The cemetery has started. It's not complete. But I would like to ask the board to entertain a motion, since we're doing the ARPA funds and we want to get it taken care of. I would entertain a motion when the bills come in for the material and the labor for the cemetery that we allow Haley and Cindy to take care of paying for instead of waiting until the next meeting.
Okay, so we don't need a motion for the amount, because that was already done.
Right. But
8 months ago or something, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So this is just allowing us to cut the checks and send it prior to the approval at the next board meeting.
Yes.
But the checks will be presented on
Next
my
month.
spreadsheet for that,
yes,
so people know what the totals were.
right.
I don't have a problem with that. I'll make a motion to cut the checks to Nick Meyer Lawn Care and Elmer's.
Yes.
Once received and the cemetery project is completed, and you'll let us know when that's the stand, like,
Yeah.
okay.
Support that.
We'll call on that because it's COVID funds.
Okay. Yeah, good. Yep. Motion's been made, roll call. And second.
Cindy,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
I'll say yes. Tom Price,
Yes.
Haley,
Yes.
thank you.
Motion carried. And I encourage everybody to visit these 3 sites. You get to see what the kitchen looks like. That's one of our big places we spent money, but we tried to spend the ARPA funds on every piece, a little bit on every piece of property that the township has. Also would like to add that a lot of work has been done to our cemetery in the last 4 to 6 years. We have done a lot up there. It's a transformation. I don't know if Jim's been paying attention or not, how much better the cemetery looks. But I feel it's our duty to keep it that way. So the
one in the county.
the final resting place of all the people that are there. I'm going to go right on to the next item.
Without those people, we wouldn't be.
This is very true. Very true. And I think it's a comforting place for the people that go to visit them too. Mr. Jim took Nick Myers for a walk around the cemetery and pointed out a list of projects. We do have some very, very tall pine trees that are dead, and the one is gonna be a trek to get down. It's surrounded by headstones. Jim has done a lot in the cemetery, but everything he can by himself.
My little wheelbarrow.
Yep. But these are going to require bigger equipment than Jim's biceps. So, I sent all of you guys an estimate, did I not, from Nick? Yeah. For the work that Jim wants to have completed.
Might be a few more things added on there.
And, I told you this guy was not the limit, you're dang close. We'll see how it goes. Maybe next spring cleanup. I know you're adding great big bushes.
There's some big bushes. The one by Elias can do.
We'll see. So I'll entertain a motion. I don't know if I have that estimate with me.
Yeah, I think you should brought it up on the
Yes, so cut down big dead pine in the middle, clean up and remove debris and cut stump brush. Remove the dead pine that snapped off, clean up and remove debris and grind the stump. Remove 4 to 5 overgrown shrubs. Once removed, plant grass seeds. What'd you say it was?
3730.
3730.
No, I seen a lot of stuff, a lot of bills.
It's right here.
I'm going through, I'm trying to figure out what day you sent it. Oh, that is the one I just sent.
And I know we haven't, I think there's like 7,500 in the, I put in the budget for the cemetery. I know we have enough to do that. How long is this bill? Anybody else want to see it? Use it.
There it is. I'm still on the wrong one. So we do have the money in the budget to cover this.
Yeah.
So,
I think to make a motion to do that motion. Repeat everything that's on it.
It is for the amount of,
to hire next Monday.
yeah.
Cut down, big, dead,
I just do the, just make it, you know, specified for 37.
okay, do the cleanup, cut hires you to clean up the specified services, that's on this application, this bill, invoice, and, for a price of, $3,730.
Motion's been made, do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
If we haven't spent all of our ARPA funds when we're done with this, I talked to Eagle, Holcomb Creek, there's like 4 foot on one side where the people are still, when they go in, they're driving and off the parking area, and it's muddy and rutted, and as you go in, it's muddy and rutted. They said we could go ahead and fix it, repair it, clean up the parking lot, whatever. I think it'd be like $500 at that.
But you're talking just on our property?
Yeah.
Not on
Oh,
the
no,
road?
no, not
Just making sure.
Yep, from the fence in. But they gave me approval for it. It's just something that we can do if we don't spend all of our.
Do you want a motion? I think we should.
If you want.
I'll make a motion to approve work at Wilson Park on the township property.
Holcomb Creek.
Sorry, Holcomb Creek on the township property only. If funds are still available out of ARPA funds.
Yeah.
Support that.
You need a roll call on that.
It might be.
Haley?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
I'll say yes. Anthony?
Yes.
And Cindy?
Yes. Motion carried. I also want to let you guys know that I am exploring hiring a consultant engineer for the planning commission when we have big projects come in for land use. In talking to Consumers Energy about the solar prospect here, it is 300 pages long, their application. What did you find, Anthony?
I don't know when they'll be applying, but in our new ordinance, it has language in there in the solar about, I don't know the last page.
Okay,
About them putting, it would be a bond.
into an escrow account is what
Yeah.
consumers told me they were going to do.
And then we would determine an amount that they would put in there that would cover engineering costs, consultant costs.
Oh, so they
attorney
pay for it?
costs. Yes. I'm not sure that our ordinance will be done before they, apply, but I don't know, it sounds like they might be willing to do that.
They're willing to do it, but I have to figure out how much money I think we want into escrow.
What does
So I-
the ordinance say, like, is there a formula to figure that out?
No,
So-
it depends on the project because, it might be different. Obviously, this is a big project, so if somebody come in and
Just
put
put the
something
story.
smaller, they might not even need one at all. You might not need a consultant or attorney or whatever, so there's really no set amount.
I just gotta get the rates and try to guess the rates.
I think Dustin Township is
Dustin
working
used,
on one
yeah.
right now.
And they used,
So I don't know if we want to talk to them,
I
see
did.
what they,
yeah, talk to them, but they had Denise come down and do it.
to give a price or to do the consultant.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, she seems pretty busy already.
And I kind of would like to see somebody that didn't directly. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
It might be a good idea to talk to Dan, because he said,
He was gonna get me a list of
yeah,
things.
because he said a lot of times when he presents plans to municipalities, that they will do the same thing, have consultants look at it. So he probably knows some people that,
Well, they're paying for it, I don't see the problem.
I just wanted you guys to know what the reasoning is, and I did talk to consumers and they asked me for an amount. but
When
they're
do you know
willing
an
to-
amount, or when they're gonna make payment, or when they're
or if they
gonna
want to
apply?
put it in, some in now, and then.
Add to it when
Add
we need
to
it.
it
Yeah,
later.
I can ask them
I
that.
would suggest calling a special meeting at that point, the new account probably would need to be created for such a thing. So it's in its own account, it shouldn't be commingled.
It'd be an escrow account, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I'm not opposed to it, I think it's right, but,
It's a lot of pressure to put on our planning commission.
oh,
Especially to get it done in a timely manner.
Right, it's a lot of information to digest. Porta potties. I talked to Alchemist Septic, and as near as I can figure, I asked her to send me a shorter version, and she sent me the same one. But it's $200 a month for the summer at Tulsa. The winter rate at the North End Park is $224 a month. And each time we move it, it's another $25, so it'll be $50 a year. I'm thinking we should do the winter one for now. Because I want to kind of look at, now that we've got the playground and everything down there, I think we're going to have to do a little bit more as far as maintenance, custodian and stuff. So I think right now, we'll go ahead and do it for the winter.
We probably didn't have one at Folsom before the winter, did we?
No, we always switch them. They take it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alcona Septic left it there. I think they sold out before we were done, but they left it there to honor to the end of the agreement. And as of last week, it was still there. I would entertain a motion to just do it for this winter at $224 a month plus a $50 or $25 delivery setup fee. Because that bathroom is impossible to clean in the winter. We don't have any warm water.
no, it's, and that's why we don't pay someone to do it either, so it's
We've
the
had
same
horrible
money,
things
like,
happen. Yeah, we've had horrible things happen.
and who is this, Alcona?
No, Pino. Who is in our township?
I'll make the motion to hire Alcona Septic at $224 per month, plus a $25 delivery and setup fee for a porta potty at the North End Park.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Did everybody have the opportunity to review the bills to pay?
Nothing special about it, just that's all I have, is there was nothing.
Okay.
The roads that were completed, the projects were in here. It did look a little odd when I typed them out, and I actually had to go back and look, because the contract numbers, there was one in the middle missing. Of course, I just had my hands on it, now I can't find it. Yeah, okay, so one's numbered 2401, 2402, 2404, so I was like, where's 2403? We paid that last month. So it's as they completed them, not necessarily in numerical order, so that's why it looks like some they already paid.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills to be paid.
Support. I want to make a motion.
Sorry, I laughed right.
Yep, I would make a motion for those.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm abstaining. Under our comments, you guys, I forgot to tell you that our contract with the library through the county is coming up in November. So we need to put some thought into that.
In the county?
We have an agreement with the county. Librarian and lips, yeah, and we pay for the building and the heat.
Right.
When does it expire?
In November, so. I'll get a copy of it and send it to all of you, we can review it and talk about it. Is there any other board comments? Yes.
I was just wanting to
do our yearly calendar, which we'll be discussing in November for January, I think we should talk about it now before I go put a whole bunch of dates together that,
Well, I just found out this morning, Max will have, he's gonna have a meeting.
so what date do you propose to do it to? Tuesday, yeah, I feel like better than on the Thursday, Friday, just because of rentals. And they're already doing on Mondays, but you'd be doing 2 back to back potentially. Does Tuesdays work for everybody? Is that something we're gonna wanna look at?
That's fine.
Thursdays, we could still be in the market club, that's all it is.
Thursdays I have school stuff, so.
So just second Tuesday
Manager
after
doesn't be in the market club?
That's not it.
Your wife tells you, right? Every month, still at 7 o'clock though works, right?
All right, you wanna check, we should be able to just do a
We
motion
should
next
be able
month.
to just approve, like, we won't be able to change it till January.
Right.
Okay, because it's already scheduled.
So when we do the calendar, we approve the dates.
That's exactly it, yep. I can check, let me look at the book real quick, but I think it's just whatever
You
we
got,
approve.
you got time, you can check with MTA or whoever you want to make sure we're okay.
You know,
I know.
Black River does theirs different nights and times, and none of us have the same. Yeah, they do skip some months. As long as we all agree.
I said he's in our little red book.
Mhm.
Is there, anything, anybody else? We got a monster in the house.
The annual meeting. There's no longer required unless the township resolves to hold one for the electors. It just says we determine the date and time.
Then go ahead when you do it for the next meeting for us to approve.
All right, we want to put it out everywhere.
Yeah. Yes, because it's probably been this way for a long time,
Yeah, and it says it has to be posted on the township hall,
which we already did.
which we do, it's out there.
Okay.
Yeah, once it's approved for the year, it's whatever we get, so. I'll put a call in, because I can, but I'm pretty sure we just know that answer.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at
Make a motion to adjourn it.
7:50. Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thanks. I was gonna start putting those things together, and I don't want to move all around.
I want to start going earlier.
Tuesdays are kind of nice too, though. I mean,